Hey guys, welcome to day 117 of Grinding Until I Become a Millionaire. These are just my daily check-in videos where I share my progress and just talk about what happens each day on my journey of trying to become a millionaire. I'm just trying to grow my YouTube channels right now to some passive income and get one of the brands to a point where I can sell it. My goal is like 50, 60K. It's got a long ways to go. But once I do that, I think I'll have some extra money that I can invest in other projects and other ideas that I have my sights on. So that's what we're working on. So 117. It's actually yesterday. I'm filming this again in the morning because I've been having a hard time the last couple days, especially yesterday. So I woke up, worked on some stuff for a little bit. I had to go to work later, but it was okay. I think, like I said in the video yesterday, I slept quite a bit. I just went to bed at like 8 and then slept all the way until 10 the next morning. I felt good throughout the day. I felt like I had so much energy, like everything felt good, but bro, I kind of hated myself because of how much time I wasted. I was like, this is a lot of time that I just spent sleeping that I wasted. And I don't know, I think when I get like that, I just kind of, shut down isn't really the right word, but it's like feel a little bit hopeless or give up a little bit for a short period of time. It was interesting. I did some basic chores around the house, like dishes and stuff like that, cleaned up a little bit. And then I went to work. Work was pretty good. I made good money. And I had one table. It turned into a 15. It was supposed to be 12 people. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it by myself. Sure. 12's pretty hard. 10's pretty hard. And then there's like 15. I was like, oh my God. But they were all adults. They all it turned out good, but their bill was like $400 some. They tipped me like 75. And I just, that's crazy. The tip culture is so weird. And I'm in the industry. So it's like, I'm all for it to a certain extent, but I'm also like, I don't know, man, especially here in Arizona, we get paid minimum wage. And so like with tips, I make like $30-40 an hour. It's crazy. $11 an hour plus whatever tips are. And if it's good and if it's busy and like I'm turning tables and everything, then yeah, it's like easy 20 to 30 an hour. So then add that onto the 11 and it's just like bang for your buck, man. You cannot go wrong serving here. In New Mexico, we'd get paid like $4 an hour plus tips. So that was a little bit worse. So you'd average 25 to 30 an hour. It was also slower, but like, anyway, what I'm getting at is I just think it is such a win for the restaurants because they can pay their employees so low and then expect the customer to pass that pay on to get like decent people. Like if I couldn't make $30-40 an hour serving, I'd probably find a job where I could make around that, shoot for that. And the sad thing is most of those jobs are going to be salary jobs. And if I do a salaried job, like it's 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and I don't have that time trying to grind on the YouTube and the website and everything like that. So anyway, love serving. Tip culture baffles me. When I was in the UK, it was nice. Whatever price was on the menu is the price that you're paying, and the people who served you were getting paid like they were getting paid whatever without expecting you to tip. And I still tip because it was like, I don't know, the culture. But the more I think about it, it's like they already spent $400 on food. The restaurant's making a healthy margin there on the food, and then they had to pay an extra almost $100 just to have me bring them their food and stuff and fill up their water. Like, I'm not gonna hate on it, but I hate it. But for me, I love it, but the whole idea of it is just kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. And so when people don't tip me, I'm like kind of annoyed, but I'm like, nah, fair enough, like whatever, because I understand that perspective. So anyway, it's a whole wacky thing. But yeah, I think I worked 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, made like 140 in tips. And so that was good. Came home, been trying to pay more attention to the dog. She used to go out to the dog park all the time. And then when my car's been broken, I've just been riding the motorcycle. I haven't been taking her anywhere. I'm thinking about getting a little backpack for her, like so she could sit on my front, but she's kind of too big for that. So Anyway, just some fun thoughts. I bought a couple GoPro clips, like one for my chest mount, one for my backpack, so that I can have the GoPro on my chest more and maybe use that to film like my daily things for the daily check-in videos, like the TikToks and the short form ones. And I played around with that yesterday. I don't know. It's almost easier just to pull my phone out and get a 5-second clip than wear the stupid GoPro all the time. But I'm trying to think of like, there's got to be something else I can do with it, like maybe turn it into a longer story each day or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm playing with that idea. There's one thing I wanted to rant about. Oh my God. I don't know. It was going to be good, whatever it was. Oh. So anyway, like I've been so distracted and like demotivated the last, I don't know, yesterday was pretty bad. Today's okay. It's like, here's what it feels like. Okay. I have a million, not a million, we'll say 100 habits that I know if I did each one of those, like every day, if I built those into a strong habit, there's no chance that my life would be worse off a year from now. You know what I mean? Like Hormozy always talks about, he's like, okay, well, if you say, talk in probabilities, talk in like percentages, it's like, if I do X, Y, and Z, is my life going to be better or worse? And like, you can think in binary terms like that. You can think in black and white, and it's pretty easy. Do you want to come up? It's pretty easy to get an answer and have a better understanding about it when you think like that, when you talk like that. And so it's like, if I do, come on, hey, up. Oh my God. If I sat down every morning and like I was doing, last week, and then this week I've just been off of it. But if I sat down every morning, wrote down the tasks that I needed to get done for the day, or that I wanted to get done for the day, and I aligned my calendar to match that so I could see what tasks needed to get done and where I could fit it, and made sure that I was on top of all my responsibilities. If I read every single day, if I like made my bed, if I had a routine with eating, if I was strict on that, if I was like, you know, all these other things, if I was strict about going to the gym, if I made sure that the dishes were clean every time after I ate them, like just little things that put my life in order and get me moving in the right track. Like there's so many of them. And I feel like if I just did all of them every single day, there's no chance that my life would be worse off a year from now. Like it would have to be better. It would just, everything would line up, you know? And so thinking that way, it's like, okay, that's great. And then I try it and it's like, I can't juggle. It's like, okay, cool. I started going to the gym consistently. Like that's been the one thing I added on 2 weeks ago. Every day I've been hitting the gym. It's working out good. Like I'm consistent with it. But now I'm not reading. You know, like when I wasn't going to the gym, it was easier to have time to read every morning. It was easier to have time to plan my day. It was easy. Like then I add on another thing and it's like, it all just fucking falls apart. It's so hard to get everything done or do everything that you need to do or that you feel like you need to do, because it's just, I don't know what it is, man, but it is so frustrating and it is so hard because like, cool, I added on 2 more things that I'm doing pretty good at, and now it's just like these other areas are falling apart. So it's like, am I actually moving forward if I'm just essentially just replacing out habits instead of actually adding on habits, or like changing my lifestyle or the way that I do things? If I'm just replacing shit, like that's kind of just, it's not actually doing me any good. So that's a really frustrating thing. And it's like, I laid in bed last night. I got in bed and I was like, oh, I'll watch one YouTube video, and I laid down and I just flipped through YouTube shorts. Like I did for like hours. I'm not even exaggerating, for hours. It was like 3:30 and like I laid down at 1. It was like 3:30. I laid down at 3:30 when I was like, Jesus Christ, like what am I doing with my life, dude? And the last time I did that was probably a year ago, or a little over a year ago. And I'd get like that periodically where it's just like, I feel so drained. I've been working on stuff for so long. It's like, I'm just exhausted and I don't have the willpower to like just go to bed, wake up and like keep doing it. And it's like, what am I at day 117 of it? And I've been pretty good about it for the last 117 days, which is like almost 4 months. And so I do get to a point where I'm just exhausted waking up every morning and like having to do something until I go to work, and then going to work, and then coming home, and then having to do something until I come home. And I don't even know what I'd rather be doing, but I'm just like, fuck, man, this is so annoying. So yeah, I just burn out. I have a really hard time with staying up on the discipline. I guess the discipline thing is a big one, where it's like I need to work on that for sure. That's a me problem. It's not like doing these other tasks is making me not disciplined, or it's like not like that at all. But I don't know. We'll get through it. Today's just been a slow day. Filming this, it's Friday. I didn't do my live stream. I just taking some time to chill and kind of restructure not my life, but my day, and figure out where my time needs to be allocated, what I need to work on, and what are some like consistent systems that I can build to move me in the right direction versus just trying to add on habits. Like I need to work on becoming the person that I envision versus just like a person who does these things, if that makes any sense. Like I think I talked about this in one of the early on videos, but if you identify with, you're like, hey, I'm straight edge. Okay, for example, like you just say, hey, I'm straight edge. That's a lot different than being like, oh, like trying to quit drinking or trying to quit smoking, because you don't identify with someone who doesn't drink or smoke. You're just trying to do that. You know what I mean? Whereas if you identify as straight edge, you're like, no, like that's just not me. Like I don't do that. I stay away from external sources of stimulant. Like that's just it, And so there's those two parallels where like you're that person, and then you're not that person, and you're just trying not to do something. I think Tony Robbins was interviewing Theo, and he's like, okay, well, if I offered you a cigarette, like, what would you say? He's like, no. And he's like, yeah, because you don't smoke. Like, that's just, you're not a person who smokes, versus if you ask somebody who's trying to quit smoking, they have a harder time with it, because like they are a person who smokes who just doesn't want to smoke. There's just such a big paradigm shift when you think about those two things differently. And anyway, big long tangent. Day 117. I got so much to do, and I just don't feel motivated to do it, but I'm gonna do my best, edit this video, get it put together, sit down and figure out what I need to work on next. I still need to film and edit the bike review videos for the second channel, get those pumped out. I've only got a few days left in January, and there's probably 5 or so reviews that I really want to get done. So I'll be working on those. We'll see you guys tomorrow for day 118. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure.